So alcohol has been a struggle for me for a long time. It started, honestly, I was never a big drinker in like high school or anything. Never was like the party guy. But once I hit college and I turned 21, I was the guy who was at the bar all the time, and I was pretty much 5 days a week I was at the bar. And then it turned into 7 days a week I was drinking very quickly, and it turned into a not fun experience very quickly for me. And from then on, I realized I had a problem, but I didn't know how to stop the problem because that's all I had experienced my entire life. My father was an alcoholic, and going through that, that was the way I learned to numb my problems and kind of cope with my problems, was to numb them through substances. I burned a lot of bridges, lost a lot of relationships, lost a lot of friendships, and it really peaked after I lost my father in 2019 to a stroke. That was a really tough time for me, considering our relationship was not where I wanted it to be. It was not very healthy, and I turned to alcohol even harder for the last few years. My fiance, Nicole, began attending CedarCreek in January of 2023, and I started attending with her, but it was more my physical presence attending with her. I wasn't really there the whole time. I was, thinking of how bored I was or how glad I would be for service to be over. And I felt this change in my spirit and this renewal of faith and this desire to go back to service and to be in service and to listen to the message every week. And from then on, I started going every week or listening online every week when I couldn't make it. And from there, I made church a priority, and I made Jesus a priority in my life. And since then, I've seen so much change in my life. When I started attending CedarCreek in in January of 23, I went to Celebrate Recovery. That was actually the first group I joined. And it didn't work for me personally. I don't think I was ready to hear what they had to say. But from then on, like I said, I kept coming, and I kept hearing things that would make me question what I was doing. It wouldn't make me stop, but it made me question what I was doing. And one day, it was around February of 24, I just kind of decided, I'm going to take tomorrow off. I'm going to go to an AA meeting, and I'm going to see what this is all about. I've never done this before. I've never taken the time to go to a meeting to say, hey, I can hear from somebody other than myself. I've never stopped and listened to another person's perspective on it. So I went to an AA meeting. I heard other people experiencing what I had experienced. I heard other people on the other side of what I had experienced who were living a much better life, who had gotten better, who had gotten well. And I didn't realize that could be possible and that you could live a better life after getting well. So those AA meetings became very powerful for me in kind of showing me that there was a way out of this problem, that I was not alone. So I think my recommendation to anyone who is struggling with drinking is to try AA. I know it doesn't sound the most comfortable sharing your problems with other people. It's not the easiest thing, but there's so much power in sharing your problem and your story and hearing another story and understanding there's so much relatability and you're sharing so much in that struggle, and you're not alone. People are there for you. And then realizing also in that God is there for you, that there is a higher power in this process. That, I think, was another big thing for me, was understanding that there's a higher power above me and accepting that and truly accepting that. That was a tremendous step for me, and understanding that I don't get to have the ultimate say in everything. Serving was a big part for me of my spiritual journey, because, especially the kids ministry, because I had coached before. I had a background in education. I've always loved working with children. So somehow God spoke to me through children. That was how I was able to hear God's calling, was through working with children and advocating for children in my day-to-day life. So, and then from there, I've parlayed that into working as a social worker with children in Toledo. So I found really what I feel like is my true calling, working with children, and it all stemmed from that serving experience. If you stick around church long enough, you're bound to hear something that relates to you. Whether or not you intend to hear it, whether or not you think you need to hear it, you are bound to hear something that relates to you in your life. That is what the Bible is there for. God spoke to us through the Bible, so there is something there for your life in every aspect. I feel like a completely changed person. I feel so much more. I feel a renewal of spirit, like I've said. I feel I've been born again. And I hate to use the cliche phrase, but I truly feel that way.